Let them speak. Test patterns 1 to 20. Please repeat or answer the question. If you answer for practice purposes, if it is a positive question, answer with a positive sentence in the same tense. If it is a negative question, answer with a negative sentence in the same tense. Doesn't it seem like you all have learned a lot? How many days has it been since he told you not to come back? Are you going to be going there so that you can have a chance to meet them all? How come they're thinking about taking all of that with them? Are you supposed to ask her to come back at 10:30? I couldn't help staying there until the 5th of June. Didn't you ask her how long she planned on staying there? Do you ever need to contact him? The reason he feels so happy is that he is about to meet her again. Is it all right to ask her if she'll let him come back so they all can play again? Do you have difficulty asking her if she wants to go out on a date? Isn't it time to ask them to leave? What did you stop them all from talking to her for? Did it appear that they were done working? Did she tell you all that you'll have to finish talking by 10 to 8? How many of the people told you they would prefer not talking to them. Why is it that you're interested in having her come to see you? Did he tell you not to come so you wouldn't waste your time? Were you afraid to ask him to call you after 6:15 in the evening? Haven't you been telling him that they all were done studying all of it? How many hours will it take you to do that? When was the first time she asked you to go out to eat with her? What type of car does it look like he plans on getting? The reason she kept crying was that she had a hard time listening to him. Have you begun to ask them if you can work more there during the week? Wasn't she upset you asked the other girl to go out for dinner? In how many minutes will they all be returning? Were almost all of them able to afford the food there? Did she tell you that he appeared to know how to do it well? Don't you look forward to telling him that you're not going to be working there anymore? Didn't Did any of her sisters tell you they were supposed to be coming? How did you like his car? Did they always used to ask you how old you were? Doesn't it sound like they were afraid that he might leave early? How many months ago did he decide to leave his wife? What fruit did he ask you to buy at the store? How many years has it been since you last happened to meet her? Would you prefer taking them all there on October the 9th? What did he tell you to do in order that you would pass that test? Do you have difficulty asking him to lend you some money? Does it look like any of those people will help her to carry it home? Did he tell you that that food tasted like his mother used to make it? Will they ever get him to bring it back home? How many days a week does he tend to work at the store? Didn't she tell you all that she was interested in inviting you for dinner? Who got to tell him that he just won the prize? Who have you got to ask if it is all right if you go in to rest there? Who got the chance to ask her if she would like to go on the 5th? Didn't he tell you all what he tried to get for her to make her feel better? Which one of the donuts did he ask you to buy? Did you finally wind up asking her to go out to dinner with you? When was the first time he felt like going camping? Did she tell you that they all seemed to be happy you were able to come? How is his house different from your house? Did she tell you to do that so that you could come home early? Did he tell you that he needs to go there now since it stopped raining? Didn't all of them appear to be in love with her? Didn't he have to tell them that they had better be quiet? Who asked you what kind of dessert you would like to have? Did they tell you that it was almost the same as the other movie? Did you tell him that so he wouldn't misunderstand you? Does it appear that she can sing as well as any of them? Who did you tell your mother that you had the opportunity to meet last night? Did she seem pleased you got to meet them all? Did you ask her how often she got to see them arguing? Are any of the people who told you to do that here? Do you ever ask him if he looks forward to going to visit her again? In how many hours will you be getting him to come back to pick it up? What time did you ask her to go to sleep? For how many days have they all been working for her? Didn't he tell you it was time to go home so that you wouldn't be late? Did she sound as sick as the other students? Did she ask you if you were used to teaching English? What does she keep coming here for? There wasn't anything I could do but tell him that I couldn't do it. Did you start to ask them how they were able to do it all? Who is supposed to tell them all how they've got to do it? How many minutes ago were they done fixing it? Aren't you going to tell him not to have her do that? Did he tell you that you ought to buy some other TV? Did any of the men there say that it was worth doing? The reason that he pretended to keep working was that he was afraid she might get angry. How long did it take for him to forgive her? How come he should have done it earlier? Did you keep asking her not to tell them all that you became sick? In how many months will he be finished teaching there? Haven't you got to tell them all that there's no use doing that? Didn't she tell you that you shouldn't talk like that? There wasn't anything she could do but admit it. All of them couldn't help agreeing with her. Which one of them will you probably ask to do it? How many minutes will it take her to finish making supper? Doesn't she need to tell him to go out to buy the dessert for dinner? How much did he end up paying for the dessert? Did he tell them all that it will take 30 minutes to finish cooking it? Aren't you afraid to ask him how he was able to get that? Did she tell you that you'd better be there by 20 to 5? When is your birthday? Would you rather ask them to bring it back after 4:45 this afternoon? Who happened to ask you why it was that you were late? Why is it that she prefers to work alone? Don't they seem to be proud that they were able to finish making it first? How many of the men said that they heard her saying that? Who told you that it appeared to be too expensive to buy at this time? Isn't it time to tell them to go home so that they can have supper? Do any of you ever tell him that you don't like hearing that? Did you ever tell her that it makes you angry to see that? Did you have her ask all of them to come home by 8:10? Do any of them ever ask their parents to give them money so that they can go out to eat? There was no sense trying to get him to understand it. Were almost all of them thinking about telling them that they were going to be leaving early? Did she tell you that she will help you to understand it? Were almost all of them thinking about telling them that they were going to be leaving early? Who told him what he should bring? Do any of them appear to like talking about it? What sort of present does she look forward to getting for him? Did she tell you that she was used to studying hard? All they keep doing is worrying about all of their kids. Where did he say, "Let's meet tonight at 7:45"? Does he appear to be happier than his wife? How often did he tell you that he gets to go bowling? Who are you interested in asking to help them do it? Did she tell you that that was the most expensive car? Does it seem like he decided to keep him from selling it? How come it wasn't worthwhile buying? For how many hours has she been sleeping? Are you going to wake her up so that she can go to work? Who made you tell them all to do that? Who ended up telling all of them to leave? Doesn't he appear to be a great teacher? Did she tell you that it sounded like he didn't need to get together with her? When was the first time you had the chance to meet all of them? What kind of guy did she tell you she was interested in meeting? Who almost told him to stop treating her like that? Didn't almost all of the students tell you that they had a hard time answering a lot of the questions? How many minutes ago did you get to explain it? Why is it that he told all of them to leave? The reason he kept complaining is because he didn't like being there. What did you help him to do it for? In how many weeks is she supposed to be returning? Did you ask all of them why is it that they felt like buying it now? Do you ever just end up giving up? Has she got to leave since it began raining? How many days will it take for it to get there? All he plans on doing is resting there. All you have to do is ask him how often he manages to see her. Did you ask her if he seems happy or not? Wouldn't you rather tell them to come back after 5:30? How many hours has it been since they all made you do that? Who did he say got him to do that? When will you get to ask her when she'll be returning? Didn't he hear you asking her if she was in love with you? Did she tell all of them to come back on the 3rd of December? There wasn't any point telling her to stop seeing him. Doesn't it seem like they've been arguing almost all of the time? How is that phone different than this one? For how many minutes will she be talking with him? Will he ever ask her to marry him? How much money did he tell you to bring with you? What type of dessert did he ask you to bring? Didn't you feel happy they asked you to come to the party? Shouldn't he have told her what he was doing there? Did he used to go there so that he could help her to clean her house? Are any of them thinking about asking their friends to come on the 16th? Didn't she appear to like talking with him? How many months a year does he wind up living there? They may as well leave early so that they can get there earlier. How come she was having difficulty understanding that? The reason they keep on arguing is that both of them are really stubborn. Did they all tell you that their hotel room was as big as yours? How many hours ago did they get together so that they could talk about it? Did she say that they both tend to complain a lot? Will you ever let them go out together so that they can have fun? Which girl did you ask to dance? There wasn't anything he could do but sell it all. What did she happen to ask you to do? Did they all appear to be thinking of going out to the movies together? Did he say he saw all of them leaving the house before 4:45? When are you going to be telling him what you want to get for Christmas? In how many hours will he be set to return it? How many of the children told you that they had a good time there? Isn't he supposed to ask them all to bring some food to eat? Do any of them appear to be trying to help her clean her house? Doesn't it sound like they've been fighting a lot these days? How long has it been since you had a fight with your mom? Do you look forward to asking her to go out to dinner with you? The reason he knows how to dance well is because his sister used to teach him. How is that card different from that one? Doesn't it seem that that is the cheapest chair? Were you in the middle of telling her that you didn't feel like talking about it anymore? How many days ago did he get you to do that? Who started to ask them what they were doing that for? Do you ever ask your friends not to smoke in the house? When is the first time that any of them asked you to lend them some money? Did he tell you how many days ago they decided to sell it? You might as well tell them all you aren't going to be able to go. Does she appear to be mad because you didn't happen to call her? Did you ever tell them what you've been doing during there for the last 2 weeks? Did you ever tell them what you've been doing there for the last 2 weeks? What type of music did she say she enjoys dancing to? The reason that it was worth doing that is since I was able to learn a lot. How come you told her not to believe all of them? Were you confused that he told you that he was interested in studying?